All right, we're back, folks. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Now, we're getting ready here for 10 o'clock. Dave will not be in today. He'll be back next week. Spoke to him yesterday. We talked for a while about baseball and what's going on in the state playoffs. Instant replay at 10 o'clock. So we're going to be jumping right from here to instant replay on our Team FYN Sports Facebook page. And we'll have myself, Josh, let Josh and RJ and Jake West do a little discussion on the draft and a little Braves update, but we're going to be talking Pickens, our three main areas this morning, Pickens Dragons sports, Murphy Bulldogs baseball, and Fannin Rebels baseball. That's at 10 o'clock. Now, let's go here. I want to go over just a couple things. And, sometimes I know you're out there checking stuff out and you pay attention, but give me number 4. Okay. All right. Now, this guy here, all right, who is this guy? Now, we here at the All-Star panel have been looking for this guy for a long time. We here at the All-Star panel are like, when will we see this guy show up? All right? I'll find it here in just a second. I got to find my story here. I love any article that has Joe DeGeneva, okay? Also, the articles that have, hang on, I'm getting to it. Kimberly Strassel, you should read all of those. Bombshell report on James Comey coming in 2 weeks, says Joe DeGeneva, okay? This was on the 25th, this was out, and we were a little busy up there in Blue Ridge, so I wanted to get to this. The bombshell report on former FBI Director James Comey is coming out in 2 weeks, Attorney Joe DeGeneva said on Wednesday. He made the declaration during a Fox News panel discussion and on alleged government surveillance abuse. The Horowitz report is coming out in May or probably early June, Joe said, a former U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. He was referring to the Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz's Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act investigation. All right? But that's not the report that we may be getting here soon. All right? Remember this? Hold on, I'm going to get to it. All right? John Huber, that's who that is. And you remember back when we were talking many months ago, where is this guy? He's not showing up for Congress. John Huber leaves Congress in the dark on FBI probe. It's like, where's Waldo, okay? And this is from the Washington Times, and this is April 1st. Attorney General Jeff Sessions thought he had already answered calls for a special counsel to look into FBI's handling of sensitive political investigations when he named the Utah prosecutor right there to conduct an inquiry and report back. Nearly 18 months later, there has been nary a public peep from U.S. Attorney John Huber, the man Mr. Sessions assigned to get to the bottom of things. 18 months. Where has this guy been? FISA abuse, FBI abuse. Now, do you find it interesting that the timelines are laying out? Do you find it interesting that we got a real attorney general? Remember that? Congressman Doug Collins said last week right here on the show, said Democrats just don't know, how to recognize an attorney general. And Barr's a real attorney general. Do you think the FISA court abuse and the genesis of this witch hunt and his report, now that he actually works for a real attorney general, likely witnesses say Mr. Huber has never contacted them, and members of Congress say they are still in the dark despite regular pleas to see progress. It concerns me that we haven't heard a darn thing. Representative Jim Jordan, Ohio, told the Washington Times last week. It's like, where's Waldo? Where's Huber? Mr. Huber's assignment is coming under scrutiny as top Republicans, including President Trump, demand a Justice Department investigation into the way FBI and Justice Department targeted Mr. Trump's campaign and his associates in 2016 while looking into the Hillary Clinton. Now, that being said, let's go back. Now, I don't know if the guy is right or wrong, all right? We're going to find out here soon, huh? But DeGeneva says there's another report. Now, this story comes out April 25th. Bombshell report on James Comey. This is Joe DeGeneva is predicting there's another report that everyone has forgotten about involving James Comey alone. DeGeneva said that will be out in 2 weeks. That report is going to be a bombshell. It's going to open up the investigation on a very high note, and there are going to be criminal referrals in it. He did not elaborate on what report he expects out in 2 weeks, and however he came to find out how he came to find out the timeline of the release. U.S. Attorney John Huber, right there, is conducting an investigation into FBI misconduct. A March 8, 2018 letter from Republicans in Congress asked Attorney General Sessions to appoint a special counsel to look into certain decisions made and not made by the Department of Justice and FBI in 2016 and 17, which they believed showed evidence of bias trending towards animus among those charged with investigating serious cases. Instead of special counsel, Sessions tasked Huber with the mission later in March 2018. So this is, DeGeneva says this bombshell's coming. Now, let's go back just a little bit, not to confuse matters, but first of all, let's go to number 26, all right? Number 26, Attorney General Barr said he would go and he would testify. Now, he's going to go, Attorney General Barr is going to go and give testimony to the Senate Judiciary Committee, which is run by Lindsey Graham. I think that's Thursday. I'm not 100%. But right now he's refusing to go to the House Judiciary Committee, okay, and testify. Why? A, as we say here on the show almost daily, we don't want you to forget the House Judiciary Committee, where Gerard Nadler there, the bullfrog, okay, that's where impeachment process starts. And Nadler wants to use Barr to kick off that impeachment. Now, we went back last week and went over Nixon and the Watergate and John Dean, special counsel, and the AG at that time, Attorney General, and so forth. But that's what he wants. He wants to kick it off. And how does he want to do it? Each member of the committee gets 5 minutes to question the Attorney General. That is the general standard of the committee. Everybody on the committee gets a 5-minute spot, right, to question the Attorney General. He wants two things. He wants, after the 5 minutes, he then wants their counsel to be able to question Barr. He wants to bring up an attorney on his behalf, on the other, to question Barr with legal questions. Barr says, hell no, I'm not going to do it. Then what does the bullfrog want? He wants Barr to testify behind closed doors concerning the redacted areas of the report. Barr says, hell no. When is the last time we had a behind closed door testimony that didn't get leaked to the media? So Barr's holding his ground. Look, here's the rules I'll testify under. If not, let's go to the next level. I'll go to the Senate. I'm just telling you. That being said, let's go back to the genesis. Remember this, okay? You remember this guy right here? We don't talk about him very much. Number 7. NSA Director Mike Rogers, right? Admiral Mike Rogers. Remember him? Listen to what he says. Let's just play it for what he says at the Heritage Foundation talking about the FISA court. That's the one that starts at 19 something. Can you get that? Let's go.
Some of that value, that in the course of that almost 10 years of using this statutory authority, we're very proud of the track record we have of our legal compliance with the law, of the fact that we have been a forthright and honest organization, that when it makes mistakes, it publicly acknowledges those mistakes. It goes to the court, it goes to the Director of National Intelligence, it informs the Attorney General, and it informs our oversight committees in the Congress. I think that's something that's very important. I also very much welcome the discussion, because I am the first to acknowledge that it is important for us as a nation that we have a very public, forthright, and direct dialogue about how are we trying to ensure that our government has the tools that it needs to help ensure the security of our nation, while at the same time it does so within a very specified legal regime, and that legal regime includes explicit protections for the privacy and the observance of the rights of our citizens. It's not one or the other. We are committed to doing both. And so I very much welcome opportunities like this to sit down and have a discussion about what it is, what it isn't, why is it that we feel so strongly that renewing this...
Protections, American citizens, the separation, the tools they need, but the protections for American citizens in the FISA court. Remember this statement, because it's going to come back. Now put up number 6 and number 5. It's getting ready to happen, folks. Number 6, James Clapper. This is James Clapper that he wanted Admiral Rogers fired. This is I got caught. Look at Brennan here, number 5. John Brennan and Clapper with the Obama administration, their ass is in a sling. Now this goes all the way up to Obama, all right? All the way up. Look, let me tell you. Go back to Mike Rogers a minute. No. Yeah, that picture. I guess yeah, Admiral Rogers. There you go. Now, let's remember something. There's a couple things you want to pick up on this guy right here. All right? Remember what President Trump said? Trump Tower was wiretapped. Remember that? And the media went nuts that made fun of Trump that it was wiretapped. NSA director there, Admiral Rogers, went to meet President Trump at Trump Tower during the transition team. And if the calendar is correct, the day after Admiral Rogers left and let President-elect Trump know he was being spied on through the phony FISA warrant system there that got him, he moved his transition team to Bedminster, New Jersey. Don't forget that. Media does not talk about any of these accounts, okay? Now remember when John Brennan's security clearance was pulled and all of these people got worked up and signed a letter from the intelligence community of how upset. Just a little note here. Mike Rogers strayed from fellow ex-Intel officials over Brennan's clearance. All right? This is in 2017. September 12th, 2018. All right? Retired Navy Admiral Mike Rogers, the former head of the National Security Agency and U.S. Cyber Command, revealed his reasoning for not joining scores of other veteran intelligence officers denouncing President Trump for recently revoking former CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance. In the first public address since retiring in June, Rogers explained Tuesday why his autograph was absent from the open letter condemning the president's decision last month to sever the career intelligence officials' access to classified information. This is what Rogers said, and you got to read between the lines on this. I said to myself, is this going to be effective, right? He said during a panel discussion held at George Mason University in Virginia campus. And I just thought, a group of former senior intelligence individuals complaining about how another former senior intelligence individual is being treated, I'm not sure is the most effective way to address this very valid concern. I also thought pouring gasoline on a fire is not going to reduce the flame. We get enough fires burning. We have enough fires burning right now, guys. We need to focus on what the outcome we need to achieve as a nation. We need to focus on what's the outcome we need to achieve as a nation. Pouring gasoline on a fire doesn't reduce the flame. What caused this fire? Right? What do we need to achieve? What outcome? Rogers wouldn't sign, okay? He wouldn't sign their letter, okay? Would not sign their letter. Hold on, I hope I have the article. Now, there's two things that I would hope you get a chance to do. And this is old but new, because remember, we have known this all along. You and I know this. But now it's getting ready to return. It is. It's getting ready to return. Because the Attorney General is going to go to the genesis of this. And we're going to find out some stuff. Well, the mainstream media may not report this, but let me just say this. The Markets Work. It's a website called The Markets Work. And this is May 5th, 2018. This article is May 5th, 2018. A quiet hero, NSA Director Admiral Rogers. All right, when he retires. This talks about his retirement. But if you go down, okay, if you go down and you look, there's a timeline. For those less familiar, here's a timeline of events transpiring at NSA. November 2015 to April 2016, the FBI and DOJ's National Security Division, NSD, uses private contractors to access raw FISA information using to and from the FISA 702s. About the 702 queries on March 16th. On March 2016, NSA Director Rogers becomes aware of improper access to raw FISA data. Okay? April 2016, Rogers orders the NSA compliance officer to run a full audit on the compliance. April 18th of 2016, Rogers shuts down FBI NSD contractor access to to FISA search. Now, this is where Brennan and Clapper's ass are in a sling. I'm telling you. April to September 2016, Rogers continues his investigation. September 26, 2016, Department of Justice NSD head John Carlin files the government's proposed 2016 Section 207 certification. The filing does not disclose the FISA abuses. Carlin's aware of Rogers' compliance review, and 2016 certifications are scheduled for court approval, okay? September 27, Carlin announced his resignation. Nobody knows why. Mary McCord will later assume his position, but Carlin gets out. Mid-October 2016, DNI, all right? That is, go to number 6. Okay? Mid-October 2016, DNI Clapper, okay, submits a recommendation to the White House that Director Rogers be removed from the NSA. Clapper's efforts fail. He tries to remove Mike Rogers from the NSA. I'm telling you, folks, October 20th, 2016, Rogers is briefed by the NSA compliance officer on the 702s and NSA compliance audit and about query violations, okay? Now, let me get down here. Rogers shuts down all about query activity. Rogers reports that the activity to the DOJ prepares to go before the FISA court. October 21st, 2016, DOJ and FBI seek and receive Title I FISA probable cause order authorizing electronic surveillance on Carter Page from the FISA. At this point, the FISA court is unaware of the Section 702. Rogers verbally informs them on the 24th. He verbally says, hey, FISA court, there's violations here. November 17, 2016, Rogers travels. Now listen to this. That morning, Rogers travels on November 17, 2016. Rogers travels to meet President-elect Trump and his transition team in Trump Tower. Rogers does not inform DNI James Clapper. Okay? He don't inform Clapper. He doesn't tell the White House. He doesn't tell Obama. He doesn't want them to know. November 17th, Trump's transition team announces they are moving all transition activities to Trump National Golf Club in New Jersey. Interesting. Department of Justice. The Department of Justice and FBI were both aware of Carlin's fraudulent September 26, 2016 submission of the government proposed 2016 Section 702 classifications. They knew it contained material omissions. All right. The FBI and Department of Justice and NSD were quite literally racing against Rogers' investigation in order to obtain a FISA warrant on Carter Page. Now, let me just say this, because I could go on and on, because it's detailed out everything that took place. All right? But let me say this. So the President of the United States at the rally, they are all up in arms. Let's go to, let's just go to number 3. They are all up in arms because the President of the United States called them scum. The scum, the top cop scum. Okay? And that's what he called them. And listen, I want to tell you also, you need to read the markets work. This is April 5th of 2018. Okay? These well, you say, well, that's old news. No. This is why we have an attorney general now. This right here that Mike Rogers uncovered with FISA, this stuff, that Huber is getting ready to deliver. James Comey, they're going down, folks. This goes all the way to the White House. There's a reason that Admiral Rogers did not tell Clapper and Obama he was going to visit President-elect Trump. There's a reason they did not go tell. And that's, President-elect said, hey, it was wiretap. Uncovering the Mike Rogers investigation, Section 702, FISA abuse, and the FBI. John Carl was Assistant Attorney General, the head of the Department of Justice National Security Division. Where the hell did he go? On September 27, 2016, Carl announced his resignation. He formally left the NSD on October 5, 2016. Carlin has been named acting attorney general since March of 2013 and was confirmed in the spring of 2015. He has previously served as chief of staff and then FBI director Robert S. Mueller. He was chief he was chief of staff to Robert Mueller. And then the president said, oh my God, what pieces of garbage. And then the president said, okay, there may be conflicts of interest, Mueller may be, but no, we got to get Don McGahn up there because Trump said, hey man, maybe he's got conflicts of interest. No, Carlin has previously served as the chief of staff to then FBI director Robert S. Mueller. Carlin was replaced by Mary McCord, who would later accompany acting Attorney General Sally Yates to see White House counsel Don McGahn regarding Michael Flynn. No, tell me it wasn't true. Yeah. This guy was replaced by this lady that worked for acting Attorney General Sally Yates to see Don McGahn concerning Michael Flynn. Man, I hope we put them all in prison, folks. I mean all in prison. I'm your host, BKP. We're going to wrap up a little more of this when we return.